Hi guys, how are you? How's it going today? Today, inshallah, we will talking about lesson 4 at Firqas side. About lesson 4, of course, we will talking about grade 9, math grade 9. So, lesson 4 is real numbers. What does mean real number and how you classify real numbers? How many sets about real numbers? Symbol of real number is R capital. R capital. When you say I said real number, use R capital. R capital, that means real numbers. Real number classified to more sets. Natural number, whole number, integer number, rational number. It is said belong or proper subset to real numbers. So now about first set is natural number. What does mean natural number? First of all, symbol of natural number is n capital. Natural number, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some teacher or some book said 9, 10, 11, but I said just 1, 2, 9. This is my idea. I said 1, 2, 9, not 1, 2, 11. But about whole numbers, symbol of whole number is W or N dot, N circle, this small circles. So start in 1, no, start about whole number, start in 0. That's mean difference between natural number and whole number is 0. Just add 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then about natural number you don't have point, but about whole numbers you have point, and then that's mean 10. After 9 you have 10. That's mean 1 with 0 is 10, 1 with 1 is 11, 10, 11, like this. About integer numbers, symbol of integer numbers, sometimes you can use I capital or Z. In some books say Z and some books says I capital. So about integer numbers, you have 0, all its real numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then you have negative numbers, negative parts, -1, -2, -3, to infinite negative numbers, and about right side to positive infinite numbers. Then I capital, that's mean integer number, it's make to 3 parts, union between 3 parts. I capital equal to I dash or I negative, like this, union 0, union I positive. So 3 parts make integer numbers. About rational numbers, symbol of rational number is Q. Symbol of rational number is Q. Q or rational number equal to I over B. That's mean any number you can write by fraction is rational number. Any number you can write by fraction like this, I over B, when B is not equal to 0. When I, B belong to integer numbers, but B not equal to 0, because you have 0 in integer numbers, but I said such that B not equal to 0. So any number you can write I over B and B not equal to 0, so it's rational numbers. For example, 1 over 2, -3 over 5, 8 over 5, 5 over 2. It is rational numbers. But teacher, you have, maybe you said you have decimal and square root or radicals. It is rational numbers, yes. About decimal, sometimes rational, maybe irrational. What does mean irrational, teacher? Any number is not rational is irrational. So about decimal numbers and about square roots, maybe rational, maybe irrational. Now I will explain when decimal number is rational, when decimal number is irrational, and about square roots, of course, when square root is rational and is irrational. So now about last said about real numbers is irrational number. Irrational number, symbol of irrational number, I forget about this. You have dash over Q, like this. Q prime, or you can say Q dash for Kurdish sake, or Q prime, like this. So now About irrational number, if a number is not rational, so it is irrational. It's so easy. By this way, you know it's rational or irrational. For example, square root 2 is irrational. Square root 3 is irrational. About decimal 0.2322 is irrational. But about this number is rational. This number is rational. So how teacher, and you said square root 3 is irrational. But why square root 4 is rational? Why square root 3 is irrational? Why 0.5 is rational? Why 0.2322 is irrational? What difference? How you know in exam? So just with me, you know when it's rational or irrational. Okay. So please pay attention about this. Notice classifying square root a about rational or irrational number. If a, that's mean a number under square root, if a is perfect number, perfect, what does mean perfect number? If you remember, perfect number 0, 1, 4, 16, it is 25, it's perfect number. So if a is perfect number, then square root a is rational. For example, square root 4. 4 is perfect number, yes, so belong to rational. It's symbol of belong. Square root 9. 9 is perfect number, yes, so belong to rational number. 16, perfect number, yes, so square root 16 belong to rational numbers. But if a is not perfect number, like 3, 5, 6, if I is like this number is, so you said square root I is irrational number, that means is q prime, belong to q prime. For example, square root 2, since 2 is not perfect number, so belong to irrational number. 3 is not perfect number, so square root 3 belong to irrational number. Square root 18, 18 is not perfect number, so belong to irrational number. It is about square root when square root perfect and non-perfect. I said if I said square root a or square root in general form when you know is rational or irrational. I said if a perfect, so is rational. If a not perfect, so is irrational. Maybe not perfect or semi-perfect also is irrational numbers. Okay, note about decimal number. How you know a decimal number is rational or irrational? Please, guys, with me. If about decimal numbers, if a number whose decimal part does not terminate it or not regular repeat, so about given number is irrational number. That's mean belong to q prime. Maybe you say, teacher, what does mean terminated? What does mean regular repeat? I know about repeat, but what does mean regular repeat? For example, you said 2.331. If you have 3 pointers, after last number, so it is not terminated. But if you don't have three numbers, so it is terminated. You don't have 3 point after last number, so it is terminated. But if you have 3 point, so it is not terminated. You have 3 point, not terminated. You have point, you have like this. That means you don't have 3 pointers, so it is terminated. But when you have 3 pointers, like this, so it is not terminated. It is clear when you know about terminate or not terminate. You have 3 point, not terminate. You don't have 3 points, so it is terminate. But about the regular, this number is regular repeat. It is repeat. You have 3, 3, 1, 3. It is a repeat, yes. about number 3 is repeat, but it's regular. No, why not regular? Because it is 33, but about last number is 13. Not it is 13. It's not 3 or 33. You have 33 and 13. So it is a repeat, yes, but not regular repeat. So it is irrational. And sometimes you have like this. You have another numbers, for example, you have another numbers, for example, 2.15. 2.15 is rational. Why rational? Because about last term, you have about after decimal point, you have two numbers, 1 and 5. That means you have 15. About 15, it is not regular repeat because you have 1 with 5. 1, 5 is not repeat, not like 11. But about it is terminate, yes, it's terminate because you don't have 3 points. If terminate, so you said rational. But if not terminate and not regular repeat, so it is irrational. Okay. More explain about rational or irrational. I said if after decimal point, it is decimal point. If after decimal point terminate or regular repeat, then the decimal number is rational number. That means is Q. But if after decimal point not terminated, that means you have 3 point, after last numbers and not regular repeated, then the decimal number is irrational number. That means belong to Q prime. For example, you have more numbers, 3.2222 and then 3 points. It is terminate, it's not terminate, but it's a regular repeat, yes. When a number is regular repeat or terminate, that means this decimal number is rational. It's not terminated, but it's a regular repeat, so it is rational number. It's a rational number. Or you can write by about this decimal, you can write 3.2 prime. That means 2 dash, that means 2 is repeated, the regular repeats. So 3.3.22 or 3 decimal point 22 and 3 points is belong to rational numbers. Why? It is terminate? No, it's not terminate, but it is regular repeat. Why it is rational number? Because it is regular repeat 22. About second number 3.2122 and then 3 points, that means it's not terminate, so belong to irrational number. Why not rational number? Why not rational number? This decimal numbers, because it's not a regular repeat. But teacher, it is regular 2. Yes, it is. You have 3 2, but it's not regular repeat because first number is 21 and second number is 22, so it's not regular repeat. And about it's terminate, no, it's not terminate. So about second number is not rational. If not rational, so it's irrational number. It's not terminate and not regular repeat. And about 3.87. 3.87 rational and it's irrational. It's for you. It's rational or irrational. Tell me. Sin is about 3.87. Yes. 3.87 is terminate. Yes, it's terminate because you don't have 3 points. Sin is it is terminated, that means it is a rational number. I said if terminate, that means we don't have 3 points after last numbers is terminate. If terminate, so it's rational, belong to rational. But 3.87 and then 3 points, it is irrational number. Why? Why it is irrational number? Because it's not terminate. Why not terminate? Because you have 3 points and it's not regular repeat. Why not regular repeat? Because you have 8 and 7. It's not the same number. So it is irrational number. About radical 3 also is irrational number because 3 is not perfect numbers. About square root 2 belong to irrational number. I explained about radicals. Next note, sometimes a number is decimal. Sometimes a number is decimal and perfect. Maybe you say, teacher, I know about perfect number, just you have 0, 1, 4, but now you said decimal number is perfect, sometimes it's perfect. Yes, for example, it's just to information. Sometimes I said a number is decimal and perfect. So square root, this decimal number is rational numbers. For example, square root is in your book. Square root 0.25 is rational, is irrational. Yes, this is rational. Why is it rational? Because 0.25 is perfect number. How you know 0.25 is perfect number? Because 0.5 times 0.5 equal to 0.25. So square root 0.25 is perfect number. But square root 0.5 is not perfect number. Why is not perfect number? Because 0.5 is not, about square root 0.5 is not rational numbers. Why is not rational number? Because 0.5 is not perfect number. Because 0.5 is not perfect number. But about square root 2.56 is rational number. Why is rational number? Why is rational number belong to rational number? Because 2.56 is perfect number. Why 2.56 is perfect number? Because 1.6 times 1.6 is equal to 2.56. So square root 2.56 is rational number. That's mean blue square roots, 2 blue square roots is rational number, but about 2 red square roots is irrational numbers. Why second red square root is irrational number? Why? Because square root 1.25, because 1.25 is not perfect number. No, any number time itself equal to 1.25. Okay, so I said the real number, symbol of real numbers is R capital. So R capital is symbol of real numbers, but about note natural number belong natural number proper subset to whole number, and whole number proper subset to integer number. That's mean an integer number proper subset to rational number, and rational number proper subset to real number. That's mean any number in natural numbers, for example, 2 in natural number, also 2 we have in whole numbers, and we have in integer number and rational numbers. Maybe you said, teacher, 2 is a rational number. Yes, I said any number you can write by fraction is rational number. So you can write by fraction, for example, 2 belong to natural number. Yes. 2 belong to integer number, whole number. Yes. 2 belong to integer numbers. Yes. Natural number, whole number, integer number. And 2 belong to rational number? Yes. Why 2 belong to rational number? Because you can write 2 by fraction. 2 equal to 2 over 1 is I and B. B is not equal to 0. So it is belong to rational number. And any rational number is proper subset to real number. That means 2 also is real number is. So I said if before about blue, if you have second properties, Q, that's mean rational number, union Q prime equal to R capital. That's mean equal to real number. That's mean real number, you can classify real number to two parts. To two parts. Okay, for example, you said R classified to two parts. Rational number and irrational number. For example, rational number, square root 4. Irrational number, square root 3. And about rational number is classified to natural number, to whole number, to integer numbers. Okay, you can classify by this way. So real number is last bigger steps, sets. Okay. So now about, I say Q union Q prime equal to real numbers. That means that Q belong to any number in rational numbers belong to real numbers. Also, any number belong to irrational number belong to real numbers. About blue, notice if I belong to rational number, also I belong to real number. Also, if I belong to irrational number, I belong to real numbers. And if I belong to rational numbers, I not belong to R prime. What does mean R prime? R prime, that's mean not real. R prime, that's mean not real. For example, square root 4 is belong to rational number. Square root 4 also belong to real number. And about square root 3 belong to rational, irrational number. Square root 3 belong to real numbers. It is, I said about belong or subset, proper subset, is symbol of, this symbol is an element. You said an element, or you can say belong. Belong or element, same meaning. About this symbol is not an element or not belong. About this symbol is subset, is not subset. About this is proper subset, proper subset. Okay. So now it is just two more information is 233, 2.313 is rational or irrational. I said is terminate if a number is about the small number, if terminate or regular repeat is rational. If not terminate or not regular repeat, so is irrational. About this is rational because it's terminate. About this number is also is real number. About this number is not terminate and not regular repeat, so it is irrational number. Also is real number. Is 2/3 by same. -2. -2 is integer number, and it's rational, and also it is real number. 0 is also is real numbers. What about, you said, teacher, you wrote R prime. What does mean R prime? R prime is a symbol of not real number. Not real. Teacher, we have not a real number. Yes, some numbers is not real. So maybe you ask or you think, teacher, which number is not real? Okay. Now I will explain to which number is not real. I said about not real number, a symbol of not real number, R prime. If a number is not an element to real numbers, then this number is real numbers. Real is not this number. If not real number, so it is not real or irreal numbers, or belong to R prime. So which number is not real? You have two parts of not real is like this. I said you have two parts. Note, about not real number, that's mean R prime, we have just two cases. If we have I over 0, that's mean I number over 0, so it is, you said, undefined. That's mean I over 0 is not real. That's mean not belong to real number. That's mean I over 0 is belong to not real number. That's mean belong to R prime. For example, 2 over 0 not belong to real number. That's mean 2 over 0 is belong to R prime. That's mean 2 over 0 is not real numbers. But don't forget, I said I over 0 is undefined. That's mean not real numbers. But 0 over I is defined. 0 over I, for example, 0 over 2 equal to 0. 0 over I number equal to 0. 0 over 2 equal to 0. And 0 belong to real number. Yes, I said 0 belong to real numbers. I said I over 0 is undefined. That's mean I over 0 is not real numbers. And we have second case, when we have negative under square root, just square root, not radical in general form. Because when you have negative under cube root, no any problems. But when we have negative under square root, you said is not belong to real number. That's mean when you have negative number under square root, you said undefined just in which set in real numbers, because when you in grade 11, when you have negative number under square root, you said it is complex number. That's mean belong to complex number. But in grade 9, you don't have complex number, and in grade 10, you don't have complex number. But in grade 11 and in chapter 7, grade 12, you have complex numbers. So when you have negative number, you said negative number is not a real number. That's mean square root negative number is not real. For example, square root negative 2 undefined, that means square root negative 2 not belong to real numbers. So square root negative 2 belong to R prime. But about cube root, I said is if under cube root is negative, it's so easy, it's so simple. For example, cube root negative I said defined or undefined if square root is undefined. But if cube root is defined, that means belong to real numbers. For example, cube root negative 2 belong to real number, yes. Yes, belong to real numbers. And when we have negative before square root is defined or undefined, is defined. Negative square root I is defined, belong to real number. For example, negative square root 2 belong to real number, yes. Okay, we have one question about rational or irrationals in page 113. Book said which of the following is not a rational number? Is not a rational number. That's mean which of the following is Q prime? When book said is not a rational number, that's mean irrational number. It's not a rational number, that's mean irrational number. Irrational number, symbol of irrational number, you know, is Q prime. So which of the following is Q prime? Okay. About negative square root 196 is perfect number, is rational number. Why is rational number? Because under square root is perfect. 196 is perfect. So negative square root 196 is rational number. But book said which is not a rational number. Okay. So A is not your answer. About B also is not your answer. Why? Because you have dash over IT3. That's mean IT3 is regular repeat. So about branch B is a decimal number is rational. So it's not your answer. About branch D, you have negative 2 over 3. Is a number you wrote or wrote by fraction. I said any number you can write by fraction is rational. It's rational. But your required is irrational or not rational. But about branch C, I said answer negative square root 10 is not belong to rational. Why not belong to rational? Because 10 is not perfect. That means negative square root 10 is not rational. Book said which is not rational. That means C is your answer. Guys, to tell about lesson 4 is finished. Inshallah, to next lesson we will complete about lesson 4 to explain your tables.